Yeah, absolutely. I feel like these kind of formative experiences, especially done in short bursts, like you're talking about last couple of years, I feel like for relationships, and I know it sounds basic, but it's true. It's like either make or break. Like it's very much like it then becomes about how much you both care. Like when me and my wife, in 1 year, we moved house 3 times. We moved country. I changed job 3 times. And we moved to New York. And so that was like in 1 year, in 26, and we got married that year. Sorry, I forgot to add. We got married that year. So literally we'd already moved home, we got married, we moved country, and I changed job 3 times in the same year. And then we got a new apartment in New York when we moved there. And we moved into this 500 square foot apartment in New York because we couldn't afford anything else. Yeah. It was tiny, living on top of each other. A few months later, I'm now working from home too. She's on the blender. I'm trying to do a Facebook Live.
Unreal.
And like, it was just, you know, and we went through it that year. Like 2016 was the hardest year for our relationship. And at the same time, like what you're saying, it was the best year for our relationship because I don't think we would have accelerated that fast.
You had to.
We had to.
It was a survival tactic. Totally. And man, the gift of having to figure it out that fast when things are moving as fast as they were then or as fast as they are now, it's a gift, even though it's hard to see it as such in the midst of it.
Yeah, and I think that's where the test, and I don't like the word test, but it is to some degree of like, how much you really love each other, what you really wanted, all the commitments you made, like all of that stuff, you have to really look at it in the mirror. And you can't really nothing squeezes past in that year. Like nothing gets past it.
Our having to come back to our relationship values in the last 2 years has been such an important thing because the emotion that comes up when life throws in chaos will have you forget the things that you priority ranked as your relationship values. And if you keep coming back to these things, do we still submit that these are the most important things in our relationship? If the answer is yes, then these emotional things have to be filtered through the lens of these values. And all of a sudden, you can create objectivity in a space that previously was being run by emotion. Whew, thank goodness. But man, it takes forcing that and intentionality to come back to it, or you truly are just a victim to the wind blowing in a certain direction.
What are some of those relationship values that you both created together, and why did you choose those? Can you tell us some of them?
Yeah, our marriage is more important than our business, right? And so our marriage is more important than our business is a thing that we have to come back to a lot because we both are high-performing achiever, we both are driven, have a lot of ambition, and are strong personalities. But I, through the lens of pragmatist, through the lens of operator, am thinking about the how, and she, through the lens of creative, through the lens of vision, is thinking about the what. And so like our tension lives inside of a space that usually is me not having afforded her a chance to fully breathe the what out before I'm already attacking the how.
Yeah.
And so it's been, okay, hold on. Our marriage is more important, right? Yeah. Is more important than the business. Yeah. And now is time to use discretion so that you don't step on this by letting your muscle memory, your instincts for the how corrupt her passion, her happiness, this thing that lights her up. So, but you know, we have, it's about our family. We have 3 boys and a girl. They're 13 to 3. We have 1,000 kids. And so our commitment to making sure that our family values stay connected to us showing up well for them, no matter what. That doesn't mean that we don't have to create creative solutions because of the way that we travel or have work pulling us in certain directions, but us spending one-on-one time with each of these individual humans, having a set dinner, there are some non-negotiables as a part of this so that we can maintain that, like, our family has to be first. The commitment to a date night every single week, every Thursday, every single Thursday night. And here's the thing. In the last 2 years, this hardest and best 2 years of our life, we went on plenty of dates where we loved each other more than we liked each other, right? We were in seasons of conflict. We just had 4 of those hard, candid conversations with each other. But we were committed to keeping the frequency of connecting in a date night, even though it was hard to want to go sometimes because we just didn't want to let too much time ever get between the last time we really were intentional about creating that space.
What's your favorite date night activity?
We love to try new restaurants, but honestly, our favorite lately has been anything that requires us pushing ourselves physically, which is like a crazy, cool. It's like such a departure from who we ever were in the first 10 years of our marriage. But we both are now becoming long distance runners. We've just, anything that gets us out and makes us have to do something physical has been like, it's been our jam lately. And we really are staying connected. Like move your body, change your mind has really been a mantra of ours in a season of needing to always change our mind. So whether it's, you know, during the day, hey, you're starting to feel the funk, get up, turn on some music, jump around, or if it's, hey, you're feeling triggered, go on a long run, we carry that into some of the date experiences that we have because it's in that, like, let's go push ourselves to do something that's a little bit crazy, zany, different. We're finding a way to connect through those experiences in ways that just sitting in a movie or just sitting at a dinner wouldn't necessarily provoke us, you know, having that same kind of experience.
Yeah, I love that. And especially when you conquer challenges together.
Oh, yeah.
There is so much bonding in that. It's like a team sport.
We had the craziest experience of the year, truly. At the end of the year, we look back, what was the most formative experience of the year? We had a recommitment ceremony on the side of a hill in Ireland, 15 years of being married. It was amazing. But for me, we climbed this mountain 13 times to Everest. We like 29,000 feet of climbing, Jesse Itzler's event, bananas. But having persevered through something that was so beyond what either of us thought we were capable of physically was one of the most bonding, galvanizing experiences of our marriage and truly rewired what I believe I'm capable of physically because of having persevered, pushed through like just limits that I never thought were possible.
Love it. That's amazing. I'm going to take one more. Okay, so I'm looking down this right now and I want to take 7 more. So I'm going to pick one more, chapter number 17. The lie is, things that are possible for other people are not possible for me. That one is so real. I mean,
it's so real. I mean,
so real.
The story I tell at the beginning of this chapter is a story that had been told to me for 36 years of my life about my inability to be a runner. I'm 6'4", right? I'm a taller person. And I'd been told a story about how running was not a thing that tall people could do because of their back, their hips, their knees, a whole host of things. And these stories were coming through the lens of someone else's fear, right? So someone else's fear was coloring my truth. And I accepted their fear-based story as my truth for 36 years. And then I was challenged by a colleague at work to run a 5K, 3 miles. I've never run, but I'm competitive. He was a little older. I wanted to show him what a whippersnapper like me could do. So I said, yep, you know what, I'm gonna run. And I ran 3 miles. I didn't die. And for the first time in my life at 36, I was challenging the truth of somebody else's fear and rewriting it as my now new story that, hey, guess what, I can run. And later that year, my wife and I trained for a half marathon. And later that year, we did another. And I have now just become a runner. I am a tall runner. I am running my first full marathon in 10 days.
That's amazing.
I am here for it. But the moral of the story truly is, like, you have been fed stories about what you are capable of by people who may have represented your best interest, but had no concept for your capacity.
Ooh, wow.
And you have to question the source of the stories that you believe, and if they still are credible, if there is still a reason to believe the veracity of what they have represented as their capital T absolute truths. There are plenty of things that, in uncovering that single lie, that limiting belief, that I got to go now chase and see if there weren't other things that I could do. And like, there are a bunch of stereotypes around masculinity that I have blown up. I can talk about emotion and my vulnerability around any of the struggle that I've had in a way that most of my life, my wiring, my dad who's amazing, and the story of masculinity that came from my childhood, it just doesn't apply to me. I'm free from it. And if other people don't understand it or they want to be critical of it, they are welcome to, and it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. The way that I think about my capacity to challenge my fears or stand on stages or do the weird stuff that we do, and being really vulnerable with screens on podcasts is something that has truly become something that I've just changed and reframed over the course of time. Someone is listening to this who is believing a story that is full of lie, that is an untruth told through the lens of someone else's fear at the expense of honoring your truth. And you will only ever be able to experience this truth if you decide to test the waters, defy the worry of someone else, and find out what your true story, your true experience can be.